we never get to see how almost impossible it is for you to be recreated. I feel like we go with the phrase that, the man's life is trouble from the days of his youth. It's just one problem after another, one issue after another, one challenge after another. When you are young, it's problems with school and getting good grades. Then when you finish school, it's a problem with getting university. When you even get the admission, there's a problem with paying the fees. When you pay the fees, it's a problem in getting good grades to complete. When you get good grades to complete, it's a problem in getting a good job. When you get a job you don't like, it's a problem to change to a better job. Then when you even get a better job, now you have to save enough to buy a car. Then when you get a car, you have to save enough to buy a house. Then when you can't even afford a house, people tell you it's time to get married. Then when you go into a relationship, they break your heart, so you have to look for another one. Then when you find another person that loves you and you marry them, then the baby comes along. And just when you think things are certain, then the second one just comes along. And it's from till you one day you wake up and half your hair is white. And then your waist begins to lock. And when you wake up from bed, you have to lie down for like 5 minutes before your body is steady. And you begin to see your hands wavering and you begin to get tired. And sometimes we just put life on auto drive, that from birth to death we never got chance to enjoy our existence. Because sometimes in along all the chaos we never paused and say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm alive. I'm alive. And the same thing happens to us, If I ask each and every one of you how many turns you took before you got here from house, you can't tell me. Because for those of you sat in the trotro, even if you had blinked, they would have crossed you over. Because all you knew is that all you have to do is to get to the bus station, and when you sat in it is the driver's problem. Mate, missy waha. That's it. And even if you are able to drive from your house to here, you still can't tell me the number of turns right you took, the number of turns left you took, because even when you are behind the wheel, you are on auto drive. And most of us are on auto drive in life. Life is just going, and we are just going along. One problem after another problem, one issue after another issue. Today is a relationship issue. The next day is a job issue. The next time is a family issue, is a ministry issue. I mean, just from one head to another, from one block to another. And we don't actually realize that you are an impossibility. The human race from beginning to now, if scientists could measure, they say it's about 70,000 generations. It means there are 70,000 people that have come before you in each generation. That means for God to recreate you, He has to create 70,000 generations. Because you were a miracle of a 70,000 I mean, somebody met somebody in some corner somewhere and they dated and gave birth, and then there are somebody, was knocked down a car and lost one leg, and the one who knocked him down in the leg, he married the person, they gave birth to your great grand uncle, grandfather, who then, was mistakenly went and impregnated someone's daughter, and they have to lock him on his neck and they have to marry her, and then they also gave birth to your great grandmother, and then he went to school, and met some girl at school, and he liked and proposed to her, and they finished and they graduated and they got, you understand? There are so many impossibilities that communicate to your existence. That even if you are to be recreated, if you are to be reborn, it's almost an impossibility. Because it's not just your life that has to be brought back. 70,000 generations, not people, generations. You and all your family is just one generation. Your father is second generation. Your grandfather, third generation. Imagine 70,000 generations. Not to mention of the race you have to do in your father's scrotum to find your mother's egg. That's another 2 million race. I'm trying to explain to you, the chances of your re-existence is almost impossible. This is the life you've got, and that's all you've got, so you better live it well. You have one shot, and that's it. You ain't going to tell God, oh, I want to be reincarnated. If there's reincarnation, some of us here will be reincarnated, and you really remember you were reincarnated. So chances are, even if you are reincarnated, you remember the mistake you did before is the same mistake you do again. 70,000 generations. Different people had to meet at different places. Some relationships were intentional, others were mistakes. Some were misfortunes. But out of all the misfortunes, out of all the mistakes, out of all the problems, somehow, somewhere in the galaxy of space and time, you have your existence. So it's okay to sit in the car and put your head on the seat and let the trotro pass you by. Like one day I pick a car from La Paz and I said, I'll get down at Onyenasi. And then, I said, I'll get down at Onyenasi. And then I put my head on the seat. And before I realized, I was from La Paz. And I'll get down to Onyenasi. And then I heard La Paz, La Paz, La Paz, La Paz, La Paz. And I was in the car. And I'm beginning to wonder, if I'm from La Paz, and this guy is going to farm milk, like beyond farm milk, and he's now screaming, La Paz, La Paz, La Paz. Why? Are we going back to La Paz? Like, what happened? And then I looked around in the car and I said, all the people that were in the car with me when we're going to Aweshin are different. And some reason the car is not going this way, it's going that way. Poverty is not good. That's how you can get so stressful. You've just handed over your life to the guy in the car. And sometimes be careful who you hand over your life to, because if they take the wrong turn, you are going along. No, we have bypassed Onyenasi, we've gone through family, we've even turned around, and we're now going to La Paz. So I asked the maid, oh, Charlie, why didn't you call me? So, so, hey, all the money I had was some coins. This time, I told the mate, Mr. Onyenasi, still I was tired, I was feeling sleepy. So, you know what I did? I brought my head out of the car. You understand? Then the sun would enter my eyes, then my eyes would open, Yeah, I had to stay because I can't afford going to La Paz again. And sometimes that's how life is. We allow life to put us on autopilot. We get so busy that if we ask ourselves, it's January 1st when we were here. It's March 6th that we're here. Give me an account of the days of your life. Because January is 31 days. March is 28. If you are 31 to 28, what are you going to get? 30, 20, 50. 8 plus 1, 9. 59 days. We are 6th. 59 plus 6 is what? 65 days. 55 days. What have you done in 55 days? Some of you, it's as if you woke up January 1st and then we tap you and you open your eyes. And now I'm tapping you again and you check. Is March safe? Like what has happened between January and now, you don't even remember. And if you're not careful, I'll tap you again and it will be December 31st. It's on auto drive. Before I say anything today, I just want to encourage all of us. Life is beautiful. Life is rare. And your existence is next to impossible. This is the life you've got. Be awake every moment. Enjoy every moment. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's hard, whether it's easy. whether you are struggling, whether you are successful, enjoy every bit of it. So that you won't wake up one day and ask yourself, where did my life go? You won't wake up one day and ask yourself, what happened? Why am I why is the cake saying it's my 70th birthday? Oh, it is your 70th birthday. Because the last time you checked, you were 32. Now you're 70. And you wonder what happened. Life has gone so fast. So when people say life has gone too fast, do you know what happens? It means it's on auto drive. We don't keep track. We don't keep track. Keep a journal. Keep a log. Keep track. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you have to do is to be cognizant of life. That I'm alive today. This day, 6th of March. Ghana is 65 years. And we are wondering, what happened? Some of us are like Ghana, Charlie. We are still playing Kruma standing there. Ghana, my beloved country, is free forever. The black man is capable of handling his own business. Then we play. Then we ask our 65 years, if Nkrumah was alive, what have we done 65 years later? It's an auto drive. It's an auto drive. Some of us go to school and it's an auto drive. You finish school with a degree, but how they call it, it's the same sense that came out. There has not been one shred of improvement, because when you sit in class, you are just sitting there. You just want to pass the exam and leave the school. You don't realize that you have an opportunity to add value to yourself, and every moment of that experience you must enjoy and add value. It's just go to class and go home. Some of us are here today, they are just wondering, man of God, you understand? But you don't realize that we are in the collection of people. Value is being added to your words, are being spoken, spirit is being imparted. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Look, don't wait till Ghana go war before you realize the enjoyment of peace. I'm not saying Ghana is going to go into war. I mean, Ukraine said they won't be invaded, but Russia eventually went there. Don't wait till you lose something before you appreciate it. Look, if your tummy is flat and we want to wear that bareback, wear it too, because very soon, when things change, the bareback nanko. You understand? Yeah. If you have want to do the afro, do it now, because when the boy hairs are coming, we have too much time for them. If you have the legs and want to do your mini skirt once a while, yeah. Just go to the right places. Don't go to some places we didn't do. I mean, but you understand? Like, enjoy the life when you have it. Enjoy the moments when you have it. Enjoy your youth when you have it. So that when you grow old, you enjoy even your old age. You enjoy your gray hair. You enjoy your bald head. You enjoy your pot belly. You've enjoyed it because you've enjoyed every bit of it. You are not envious of somebody and what they have because you never actually enjoyed yours. I'm tired of meeting old people who are always grumpy. Young people, you don't respect. Young people, you are doing this. Master, leave me alone. What did you do when you were young? This is my time. I used to know one old security man. Every time he has fun in his face. Except when you see girls, then he's smiling. He only smiles to girls and frowns to guys. Where is he coming? Come here. Ade, I'm working for you. You are excuse me, open again, let's start. Just say, what did we do this man? You see, he's embittered in life. Let me tell you, he sees your youth and he's embittered that, I'm an old man. Look at this guy, look at how he's wasting his youth. Is it your problem? You understand? Don't be that person that you begin to grumble and be upset and be embittered because people are living their life, because the truth is you never got to enjoy yours. Never got to enjoy yours. There are some things that, like at my age, I won't try to do. You know, when I see someone that is wearing his trouser and his autofista, I mean, I don't envy the person. Because there was nobody that could do autofista more than me. Hey, I'll do autofista and just say, you look at me, tell it. You can't even see. You have no buttons. You do autofista, you can't even see where our leg starts and where our waist starts. You understand? No, I can't do it. And I don't want to do it. Why? Because I don't have the desire for it. That's how come men have midlife crisis. Sometimes you see a very old man dating a very small girl. It's a midlife crisis. Yeah, it's a midlife crisis. Oh, it's true. You see a very old man is going to buy a young people's car. It's a sports car. It's midlife crisis. Also, when you be to our country, when you get old, you begin to imagine the things that when you were young you couldn't do, so that you don't have to go back and go and do it. You understand? So now you see an old man walking on the streets on young girl, no, son in same, just he's trying to be yo, you know. Yes, just say, why shouldn't it be? You know, I saw some guy be. I mean, this man is about in his 50s, wearing this NBA jersey, you know, NBA jersey, big one, and then some shorts, big one, and then some shoe, big one, then some big chain on his neck. You understand? Then he's walking like this. So, wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. So I told myself, may I never get here? Oh yeah. I'll never go there. Why? The jersey I've done some before. I used to have those NBA jerseys. I've done some before. But the visa I've done some before. The big show I've done some before. So if I see him greet my made, you understand? So sometimes people are trapped into the enemy's web because when we were to enjoy the moment, we never did. Sometimes life can run you so fast that you even forget to enjoy your youth. So much. Just run you by. So when the time now comes that you are to then act mature, you're acting like a child. That's the problem people like Michael Jackson have. A lot of stars have that problem. He had to build his whole house like a child's playground. Because when he was a child, he started working at a very young age. He was forced to be an adult when he was very young. And when you do that to your children, when they grow up, they want to become children now. That's the problem. That's the problem. When you've never drive a 2-door sports car before, when you're 70 years, you want to buy some. I will say me and say me. You guys, people look at you and so when I say we didn't care. I mean, it's beyond you. Say no. I want to drive some. I want to drive some. Say, tell someone, be present. Be present. Life is beautiful. Be present. Oh, Jesus. Give a clap of praise unto Jesus. Amen. I'm sorry. This is just my introduction. My message today is called Hide. 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 Someone say hide. Hide. Last week I spoke on image. Are there anyone who have questions on image? My message today is called what? Hide. 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 There are times to have an image and there are times to hide. And I want to show you a few things about hide. Before I go forward, let me acknowledge the father of the house, Reverend Francis Yalley. Give a clap of praise unto him. Amen. Oh, do it better, do it better, do it better. Oh, Jesus, walk with me. Holy Ghost, I am in your hands. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 to 4. Give me the NLT. I'll read from where I am. It says, watch out. Don't do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward your Father in heaven. When you give someone in need, don't do it as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogues and in the streets to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they have received all the reward they will ever get. But when you give someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you. Rule number 1, sometimes you must give in hiding. These are the words of Jesus, not mine. You must give in hiding. You must give in hiding. And even though I've known this scripture, it is until I was reading it recently, I really realized the significance of this scripture. In short, what did Jesus say? Jesus is saying that anytime you do good to someone, there's a reward for you. But the reward either comes from man or the reward comes from God. And when you do good to a person and you broadcast all to man, and man begins to clap for you, God begins to look at you. Because then the notion is that the good you did for man and to please man, not for God and to please God. So if I give Nandi 10 Ghana cedi today because Nandi is in trouble, and I tell everybody here, oh Nandi, oh my money 10, oh my money 10, my money 10. Oh Nandi, you see the 10 I gave you the last time. You see that 10? Don't worry, God touched my heart and I gave it to you. You see, I'm a good person. I have to give you 10. What am I doing? I am broadcasting my goodness. Now everybody of you, you don't clap. I gave the girl 10 cedi. Hey, you have 10 cedi. Ooh, hey. Everybody here begins to clap. Everybody, Pastor Charles, he's a good man. He's giving them the 10. Can you imagine, what a good man of God, This is the man of God we like. What am I doing? Men are praising me. And when men are praising me, God says, if you did it so that man will praise you, then you did it because you want man to praise you. And so long as you have gotten what you wish for, I have nothing to give you. Please take your seat. I have nothing to give you. I have nothing to give you. I have nothing to give you. Because you are doing it to impress man. And man has seen it, and man applauds you. Be careful when men begin to applaud you, because oftentimes that is what brings you into the problem of God ignoring you. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with man applauding you. I'm just saying be careful. Because the applause of man creates a very peculiar problem. Whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's at church, the applause of man creates a very peculiar problem. And the problem of please. Again, there is nothing wrong in pleasing. But there is everything wrong in the motive. And let me explain. Have you been in the house with your younger siblings, and then one sibling has made up his mind that because maybe he wants something from your mother, he will go and look at something bad you have done, right? Just to gain your mother's favor. You understand? So maybe your mother was out and want to pick the wig. Of course, I'm not saying that when your sibling does something terrible, you shouldn't let your parents know. But I'm saying that some things, your brother just goes to take your mother's wig and starts walking in her shoe and doing clo. Then she laughs and then she puts it down and puts it down. You understand? A very harmless problem. Leaves it there. Then because your other sister knows that, no, I want something from her. So he decides that betraying you would give him that favor. So he decides that he is not doing it because he cares about you, the brother. He's not doing it because his motive is to help you, the brother. She's not doing it because she wants you to be elevated. She is doing it because she wants the favor from your mother. And so the favor from your mother becomes the motive of the action. And then when she does it, your mother favors her, even if it goes to your detriment. The problem, however, is that any time that man begins to favor you, the problem is that people then intentionally do things for man to see, so man will favor. So when man is not around, they will not do it. Do you understand the problem? It means that when there's no one to see, they will not do the work, or they will not do the good thing. They will not show appreciation. That's the peculiar problem. The problem then happens is that the motive now of doing the thing is no longer that I want to help my brother be better, is because I want to gain the favor of my mother, even if it means my brother's downfall. And sometimes this becomes a problem when we are doing things that the Bible has taught us to do. So that if we are all friends, and let's say I want to, Nandi is close to, let's say, Collins, assuming, and Collins is a businessman, and I want Collins's favor, right? Instead of me doing good, being good to Nandi, and let Nandi recommend me to Collins, so that that relationship will be fruitful, I will do good to Nandi only when Collins is around. So the day Nandi comes and says, "Oh, Pastor Charles, can you give me 2 CD? Oh, 2 CD. Oh, what do you mean? Collins around. Oh, 2 CD. Oh, when you're talking about money, you're saying 2 CDs. Maybe take this 50 CDs and see what you're going to do with it. Hey, OBJ, turn out here." This girl is wild, though. So you see how it works. So we will begin to go the extra mile because we want Collins to see. We'll begin to just do something, we are targeting Nando, but the truth is we're targeting Collins. And Nandi is happy. Oh, Pastor, everybody, so they're clapping for him. Then guess what? Tomorrow Collins hasn't come around, or they are no longer friends. Then Nandi comes to you, "Pastor Charles, I want 1 CD. 1 CD. If that person is grabbing me, you understand? This is what the Bible is talking about. So, therefore, when I was good to Nandi, was I being good as a Christian, helping a fellow Christian? Was I being good as a brother, helping a fellow sister? Or is it because I'm doing it solely for that? Again, let me go a bit deeper. There is not really a big problem if I know that Nandi is close to Collins and that showing Collins Nandi favor will give her before Collins. That's not even the problem. The problem is when Collins is not around, my behavior towards Nandi is different. It's very different. In other words, when Collins is around, I'm so loving. When Collins goes, I am extremely mean. So that means that truly, I don't even care about Nandi. It's Collins I'm looking for. I don't care about what I'm doing. It's something I want. And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. So Jesus then said that when you do good, don't do it as those in the synagogues, those in the church, those in the areas. Don't just be so flamboyant about it that everyone should come and see. Because when everyone sees, everyone claps. And when everyone claps, God folds his hands and watch. And God says, "Oh wow, you're actually doing it because you want them to clap. Now that they have clapped for you, why should I bless you? Why should I reward you? Because if you were doing it for me, you don't need to do it in public, because I see what is in secret and what is in truth." And sometimes it shows up. It shows up at what we do at work. It shows up at what we do at home. It shows up at what we do in ministry, even at church. When the leader is around, everybody wants everything. Oh. When the leader passes here, yeah, bro. That's the problem. And so when we do that, God then says that, look, these actions you're doing, yes, you may be working in the business, but I will not be the one to cause a promotion because your heart is not in the right place. Yes, you are working hard in ministry, but I will not be the one to cause elevation because your heart is not in the right place. Because the motive to what you're doing is not love for your brother, nor is it that you are doing to do what you're supposed to do, but the motive is that you want praise from man. And that can become very dangerous. So you can be having thumbs up in the sight of man, but be cut off in the sight of God. You can be applauded by your colleagues, but your leader has cut you off in his mind. The world can clap for you, but the person in whose hand your elevation is can cut you off. Why? Because whilst you are so busy pleasing people, you forgot to have the right motive. I've come to realize that it's not worth it helping people and talking about it. I've come to realize sometimes if you help someone and they won't say it, just leave it. I've come to realize that if you help enough people, somebody, somewhere, somehow will say it. If you're good, somebody, somewhere, somehow will see it. You don't have to tell the whole world you're good. You don't have to tell the whole world you're excellent. You don't have to tell the whole world you're perfect. Just do what you have to do, and somebody, somewhere, somehow will notice. So, what is Jesus saying? If you're giving to people who are in need, don't make it a lecture. You go and ask somebody 10 cedi, it's nothing. They now want to lecture you on your whole life, make you feel how sorry you are to have come to ask for 10 cedi. So make you understand? Like, one thing I began to grow when, like, I learned when I mature, when you give people money, don't talk too much. Don't talk too much. If they don't appreciate the money, there's nothing you can do. No, I'm not talking, let them just give it and go away. Because in the end, you're not giving it to them, you're giving it to God. Let's help each other. Let's help our neighbors. Let's help our brothers and our sisters. And you too, when you go one and they give you, stop going. Oh, Shepherd Sam. Oh, Nisem to Papa. Nisem Gopa. Oh, Yadi. Oh, more than so on can. They be a poor manatee. Shepherd Sam. Tally. If 20. If 30. You understand? They will collect and collect and collect. Because they know you can't say no. For. Please sit down. People like that. When they know that you give easily, they will always come and keep coming till your to grow. There's a hole in your pocket. They will never stop coming. And that's bad. So the first thing I want to say is that you have to learn how to give in secret. And not just give money, but give your efforts. Give in secret. I've come to realize that the God that we serve is the God that sees in truth and in secret. If you serve him in truth and in secret. If you have to do it publicly, do it. If you have to do it in secret, do it. Don't just do it because people are seeing. Do it because in your heart you have a desire to do it. So sometimes you must hide your benevolence. You must hide your benevolence. You must hide your benevolence. You don't have to trumpet around. I've given this, I've given that, I've done this, I've done that. Hide your benevolence. Because the more you speak on what you've given and what you've done, God said, "You didn't give it to me, you gave it to them." I've told a story one day. I gave something very huge to the church, and I went to God in prayer and said, "Tell God, I'm not seeing topo. This thing I've given, it's creating a problem, and times are hard, and I've given it to your servant." And look at me and said, "Well, if you gave it to him, then why don't you go ask him?" So if you gave the man of God, then why are you complaining? Why are you asking me what you gave to the man of God? Because in your mind, you gave it to the man of God. So go ask him. I said, I think I made a mistake. I gave it to you. Say, now you're talking. And this is how sometimes also people get embittered. This is how some people get embittered in ministry. Because sometimes we feel that our effort is towards man. So when man's action affects us, we just can't go back. Because somewhere in between, we blur the fine lines between what we are doing for man and what we're doing for God. And there is what you do for man and there is what you do for God. But you must know the difference. So that when you come to church, you came for God, not for man. A lot of the things you do in church is for God, not for man. So no matter what happens, your faith should not dwindle. Your zeal should not die. Your commitment should not dwindle. Because if you understood that you gave to God, then it's between you and God. Your elevation is in the hands of God, not in the hands of man. Paul said, I sowed, Apollos watered. Who brought the increase? Exactly, God brought the increase. So if you're not increasing, then chances are God is not bringing the increase. And if God is not bringing the increase, then let me ask you, what are you doing for God? Because there is a grace upon a man and there is a grace of God. There's a difference. Maybe one day I'll teach on grace, you'll understand. There's a difference between the grace upon a man and there is a grace of God. There's difference. If you do for man, you are within the grace of the man. If you do for God, you're under the grace of God. And trust me, the grace of God is wider. Nothing wrong in doing for grace of man. Very important too. Because the last time I checked, God doesn't lay hands, men do. But some way, somehow, you have to understand the difference between, so you don't confuse the two and allow your emotions to get the better side of you. And to become embittered. So God is why are you upset? Because then were you really serving me, or what exactly were you doing? So number one, I said what? Hide your benevolence. Number two, hide your prayer. Hide your prayer. Hide your prayer. Before I go to hide your benevolence, let me explain something to you. When it comes to hiding your benevolence, there's some people need to understand about giving. Sometimes you give out of obedience because God has led you to give. Sometimes you give because the man of God has asked you to come forward and give. Sometimes you give because you give out of faith. You believe in something. You expect something. So out of faith you give. This is what I want. Give it to me, God. And God says, okay, fine, I'll give it to you. And sometimes we give out of pity. Oh, man of God, we are mobile. Maybe we'll be scared to be on to the main call. Sometimes we give out of emotions. The way the man has preached, maybe one day I pray God gives me the understanding to teach the difference between the difference between the different levels of giving. Because sometimes what you say God has led you to give is your emotions leading you to give. There is a difference between the voice of God and the voice in your mind. And you must mature to know the difference. Because some people give things to God and then they go and just go and God say, well, I didn't, you gave. Some of us give seeds and some of us give donations. It's a very difficult topic, but one day I believe God to give an understanding here. You can donate to the church and it's fine, it's acceptable. You are not going to get an increase for that. It's a donation because you gave out of will. Let me ask you an example. If a cocaine dealer, right, decides that he wants to smuggle a whole plane full of cocaine to the US, and so he brings $1 million to the church will take it and ensure that for the next 5 years he will smuggle cocaine in broad daylight, and when men see it, let God blind them. let the cocaine pass. And he brings $1 million. Do you think God will honor that? But why? Why wouldn't God honor it? He brought $1 million to God. He has sold $1 million as a seed. Why shouldn't God protect his business? Man of God, I'm giving $1 million. When my cocaine gets to America, it should turn into armpit powder. Then when it crosses the border, it becomes cocaine. And the man of God lay hands and pray. Let it be so. Do you think it will be so? Why? What's wrong with that? Didn't he give seed? Why do you think it will not be honored? Do you think because it's a bad thing? Do you know people do so Caesar do bad things? You know why it will not be honored? Because you see, he decided that he wanted his own thing and gave to God. His giving is not based on faith because it's not biblical. And his giving is not based because God gave him, spoke to him to bring. Nor is his giving the pastor telling him to bring it. He has decided to take his money and bring it to the church for something he wants. In that case, he's not sowing a seed, though, he's giving a donation. And the church accepts donations. Give me a donation. I'm not saying don't give to God, but I'm saying that you have to mature. In order to receive maximum output of what you give, you must mature to a point where you don't just give out of pity, you don't give out of emotions, you give by instruction, by inspiration, and by faith. Otherwise, you can give and still not get. And you wonder, why? But I've given, God should give it to me. God said you donated. In fact, Leviticus even speaks about people, God not taking offerings from prostitutes and some, you understand? If you read the Old Testament, he makes it clear that some money, even God said, I don't want this money. I don't want this money. At that time, they were not taking cocaine, so God, other than they would have added it. Don't bring me cocaine money. Amen. Praying in secret. Hide your prayer. Hide your prayer. So about the giving, what I want you to understand is that you have to know who you are giving it to. Who you are giving to. You must know. When you're giving to God, you must know you're giving to God. When you're giving to a man of God, you must give to a man of God. When you're giving to a church, you must know you are giving to a church. You must know who you're giving to. You must not know why you are giving. You must know why you are giving. People know who they are giving to, don't know why they are giving. You must know what you expect after giving. Because if you don't know what you expect after giving, if you get it, you won't even know God has honored it. So you are likely to be embittered. God has not answered your prayer because even when you were giving, you didn't know what you want in return. So even when God brought it, you just wouldn't know. Hide your prayer. Hide your prayer. The book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 5, it says, when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who love to pray publicly in secret corners and in the synagogues when everyone sees them. It goes on further. I tell you the truth that your reward, I tell you the truth that is all the reward they will ever get. But when you pray, go away by yourself, shut the door behind you and pray to your Father in private. Then your Father who sees everything will reward you. So this scripture not just talks about how to pray, but where to pray. Again, don't misunderstand Jesus when he's not talking that we shouldn't pray in the open sometimes. Like when we come to church and we are all praying. That's not the problem. But some people are just, they want to impress with prayer. So if you watch them pray, you feel like God has not listened to your prayer. God won't hear your prayer. I was watching some time back a video on Archbishop, and he said he was only a prayer conference. And one guy came there. When he saw the guy's prayer, he said, he asked the guy that why? Even his archbishop, so why are you scaring us? He said, the guy is down here like this. It's like a machine. If he looks at the voice, I don't worry, he was afraid. Prayer conference, who pray? Nobody prays on an archbishop. The guy's child, he will call. So he said this to call the guy. So why? So the guy brought him from some place, on far place B. He was in the wilderness, fasting and praying. I know, but still, it just intimidates everybody. You understand? Let me tell you something. You must discern between ministry and religion, or Christianity and religion. There are some things that are not necessarily Christian, they're just religious. You understand? Like, so that when we say we are even collecting offering, right? We are coming sow seed. It's not necessarily Christian, it's just religion. And I'll explain. It's not the giving to God that is not Christian. It's in the process of how. So first offering, everybody will come. They will go and sit down. Second offering, it's just an institutional thing. The main thing is giving to the commission. You understand? So that there's nothing wrong in someone dancing forward and giving, right? But somebody will get here. Hey, you understand? Some people, then they'll go back, then they'll come back, then it's not, I'm not saying that, there are some times the man of God will preach and say we should bring our offering in celebration. Yes. Though everybody should dance. Fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. But some people, every time, just say, so that at that point, the person is just overdoing it. It's not necessarily Christian. It's just religion. You understand? We've put certain things in structure. Even in prayer, a lot of the things we do in prayer is not necessarily Christian, it's just religious. You understand? Like we've designed our own format of praying and this and that and this. You understand? Jesus simplified prayer. Watch this. If God can hear the thoughts of your heart, if God can hear the thoughts of your imaginations, if God can hear the thoughts in the deepest part of your soul, what makes you think you have to shout at the top of your voice for God to hear you? Bible said that, look, it said even if you imagine in your heart, I know. God knows your thoughts before you even form them. And you think, you just say you have to pray for you are in a compound house. Go walk for your crankanya. You're in a compound house. 10 feet by 10 feet square piece, single room, self-contained. Obiada, just say, Anatu, 2 a.m. Wako tale dine. Baby, you're telling, so that's why the person's bed is. Say, I'm groaning. Oh, I know Titian. You understand? Like, there's some things we've been made to believe that is what is. But not necessarily so. It's a religion. Because if I ask everybody to pray right now, when someone comes rolling, well, we will all say that, Charlie, the guy can pray. Oh. But prayer is not what you're saying. Or let me put it this way. Prayer is not how you're saying it. Prayer is what you're saying and who is listening. You understand? It's not how loud you say it, but what you say and who is listening, and the relationship you have with who is listening. Let me give you a typical example. Where's my wife? Please come. Be on your understand? Stand here for me. Who has a loud voice here?
What's the loud voice here? Because I'm talking about prayer and people shouting, let me pick my own. No, I won't pick you. Let me pick somebody else. Who else? Okay, you get up. No. Yeah, you come. Yeah, come. You can scream. Okay. Stand here. I want to demonstrate to you how sometimes prayer is. So that's my wife. This gentleman, I just met him recently. So let's say I'm God. Okay. Now, assuming I'm standing here, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm closer to my wife than I am from here. Let me ask you two questions. Say I'm hungry, but loud. Say louder. Louder. Okay. Say I'm hungry. Who is louder? Okay. Who do you think I'll listen to more? Do you know there are two levels where I'll listen to this more? The first reason is that you're hungry. I don't know you. But you can even say I'm dying. Say I'm dying. Okay, I'm not dying though, but just say I'm dying. She can say I'm hungry. But because of my relationship with my wife, I am more likely to give her full food. Wait, if I come and you're not dead yet, we'll talk about your own. Do you get what I'm saying? So the relationship matters in prayer. It's not the voice, how loud he is. Two, when you are closer to a person, do you notice there's no need to shout too much or speak too much? Because the relationship is there. The reason why he's shouting too loud is because somebody told him that if he shouts more, I'll meet you. No. The key is not in the shouting. The key is you drawing Naira closer. You understand? So come. So that to get better answered prayers, it's not about the techniques of prayer. It's not about opening your vocal cords and singing in baritone and doing weird noises or frog noises. You understand? It's about drawing closer to God, building an intimate relationship with God that even when you whisper, God hears. Yes. Please sit down. Please have a seat. But we have made it look in church that the people who are noisier, the people who are louder, the people who have voice, they are the ones praying. It's a religion. It's not ministry. So here Jesus is saying, again, I don't have a problem for prayer. Sometimes you can pray in church and do all those noises. It's fine. But that shouldn't make you think that because that's how you pray, it means God will listen to you better than somebody who sits somewhere quiet and say, Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I worship you. Jesus, I thank you. Take your glory. Take your honor. I love you. Help me, Jesus. Give me strength, Jesus. Show me the way, Jesus. Guide me, Jesus. Order my steps, Jesus. Guide my thoughts, Jesus. Strengthen me, Jesus. Wrap me in your arms, Jesus. Let me see the light of thy salvation, Jesus. You will sit back and say, and God will be all around the person. Oh, my daughter, I'm here for you. I'm pointing at grace. No, God said, did they cry? No, he did it again. Just make a lot of noise. Make a lot of noise. We'll show you what. So it's true. You can go to a prayer meeting and you are intimidated. Now. It's not bad, but don't be too quick to judge. So watch this. I'm not saying that if you pray aloud and you pray with passion, stop. No. But I'm telling you that understand that it is not your passion nor the loudness of your voice that determines the level to which that prayer will go. But rather it is in the proximity of your relationship, in your depth with God, that determines how deep that prayer will go. So that if you want to shout, shout all you want. And if somebody is not shouting, leave them alone. Because the person doesn't have your voice, you understand, nor your style. Have your style, let them have their style. And in the end, if everybody knows how to build a relationship with God, God will listen to you both in equal measure. But don't think that because someone prays silently or quietly, it means they don't pray at all, or because God will not hear them, or because they're not fruitful. Last time I checked, a lot of people who are doing wonders in the world don't make a lot of noise when they are praying. Do you understand? Especially in public. You don't want to make noise, you make noise in secret somewhere, but people just say. Pray in secret. In other words, the prayer is in the heart. Somebody will pray to God even 20 minutes every day for the last 15 years and has never lost a day. And God is so in love with the person. You wait. Sunday morning, you have 5 minutes. Hey, everybody will die. Prayer meeting, when they give you the microphone, everybody else will stop. Understand? Because what? You are trying to impress. Watchful. Be watchful. The last thing I just want to add to it is that you must learn how to hide when you are building. Hide when you are building. Hide when you are building. Not building as you are building a physical building. Sometimes life takes you through stages and you are building. You are developing yourself. Sometimes you are going through changes and challenges. Learn to hide. I'm not saying physically go and hide, but I'm saying I learn to keep your thoughts on the low. Learn to keep your actions on the low. Some people don't know how to hibernate, how to lay low till things come up. We are too quick to speak and to make noise that the enemy gets a chance to destroy it. Sometimes you have your low moments, and when those moments are there, learn to lay low. Learn to go before God on your knees. Learn to build close and intimate relationship with leadership and with your God. Learn to play a low key. Learn to gather your strength. For the Bible said that when Samson lost his hair, when he was dejected and cast aside, they threw him down there to grind a mill. He was forgotten and they left him there for dead. And they waited to the time that they will ridicule and kill him and make a public spectacle of him. But little did they know that whilst he was in low moments, whilst he was hiding, he was building himself up. The Bible said, and the hair of Samson began to grow, and even the enemy forgot that it was the hair that made the guy strong. Because if they knew it, they'll put a barber there that every day shave the hair. You don't even want to see one hair on his head. But you understand? If I was the Phyllis, every day I would do Samson Sakura. But they forgot. Why? Because Samson could lay low. And sometimes you must lay low whilst you gather your strength and gather your momentum for the assignment that God has put inside you, so that you will go outside the enemy's radar and outside the radar of people, because people can talk too much because you are talking too much. Lay low sometimes. Gather capacity, gather momentum, gather strength like Samson did for the assignment that God has for you. There are good times in life and there are bad times, and when the bad times come, learn to take a step back and gather strength. Be more prayerful than you've ever been, but no one should see it. Give more than you've ever given, but no one needs to see it. Be more committed than you've ever been, but no one needs to see it. Be stronger than you've ever been, but no one needs to see it. You must be strong, but yet on the surface, look, there's nothing happening. Samson was becoming stronger, but nobody knew that the strength of Samson was being rebuilt until the time they put him forth to destroy him, and he gave God his prayer, and from nowhere he had the strength to do what he was born to do. You must learn to lay low. There are times to shine and to poke your hand in your enemy's eyes and to do things for people to see. And there are times that things are working inside you must be present, but yet you're hidden. Give a clap of praise to Jesus. Amen. That's my message for you today. Learn to hide. Learn to hide. Learn to hide. I'm not saying go and tell, I won't come to church for the next 6 months, but the child said we should hide. That's not the kind of hiding I'm talking about.